where you are. So many people come to me feeling broken, carrying pain, trauma, or beliefs that keep them small. They tell me they've tried everything and nothing has worked. And I always smile gently because I know they're not broken. They're simply waiting to be set free. Through subconscious soul healing, guided by divine truth and universal love, I help you release wounds at the deepest level so you can step into peace, joy, and abundance. My work is rooted in the Christ letters and the understanding that your thoughts, words, and actions carry a vibration powerful enough to transform your life. When you heal at the soul level, you don't just feel better. You awaken to who you truly are. And if you're ready for that transformation, you can book a session with me at therealhealinginstitute.com.
What if justice wasn't just about systems, but about the soul? Welcome to the Spiritual Justice Show with me, Eric S. Lee. You've heard me say it before. For too long, we thought restorative justice alone could save us. But repairing harm without changing systems doesn't end the cycle. Social justice fights for equity, but without spirit, the work becomes a grind. Transformative justice seeks culture change, but without compassion, it struggles to hold. Spiritual justice completes the circle. It heals the heart while changing the system. It restores dignity while shifting culture. It brings spirit back into justice. Each week, I'll bring together leaders, healers, and change makers to explore a new vision of justice: restorative, transformative, and deeply spiritual. And people like you, spiritual justice warriors who choose courage, compassion, and creativity in action. Welcome to the Spiritual Justice Show, where inner peace meets collective purpose. I'm your host, Eric S. Lee, and today's episode features someone whose work reminds us that love, when lived out in action, can transform entire communities. I am honored to welcome Lakeisha Hodge, co-founder and executive director of the Struggle of Love Foundation here in Colorado. I've had the privilege of interacting with Lakeisha on several occasions, and what stands out immediately is her combination of intelligence, heart, and relentless persistence in creating positive change. She is someone who does not simply talk about community. She shows up for it again, again, and again. The Struggle of Love Foundation, often called SOL, was created from lived experience. Lakeisha and her co-founder understand firsthand the challenges of housing instability and hardship. They have turned that experience into a mission of service and empowerment. Their work focuses on building awareness, connection, and opportunity for youth, families, and communities through mentorship, violence prevention, mental health support, and access to healthy food. From providing hundreds of backpacks filled with school supplies each year, to hosting Thanksgiving dinners for homeless families, to opening a community food pantry in Montbello, the Struggle of Love Foundation has served thousands of families across the Denver metro area. What makes this work so powerful is that it is deeply relational. It is about dignity. It is about meeting people where they are and creating pathways towards healthier and more hopeful lives. And that commitment has not gone unnoticed. The Struggle of Love Foundation has received recognition locally and nationally for its community impact, including awards from the federal government, the Colorado Fatherhood Council, and the city of Denver. But beyond the recognition, what matters most is the spirit behind the work. A belief that when communities come together with compassion and purpose, real transformation becomes possible. Lakeisha, I've been looking forward to having you on the show for so long. Welcome to the Spiritual Justice Show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That intro really was heartfelt. It really touched me. I appreciate Everything you said about the organization, I feel like that was the whole show. Um, You did a great intro, and it really highlights what we're about here at the Struggle of Love Foundation and everything that we do to provide support for our community. So I appreciate that so much, and thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to digging into this conversation and, letting your viewers know more about what Struggle of Love is about and how they can get involved and, um, you know, come to the Love Center to receive some love.
Great, great. Thank you for that. You know what I try, and thank you for acknowledging that. I try to, and I can never do it. I can never do it, and I try, and I do a decent job, I think, to have the opening of the show represent the wonderful work that the guests have, and I tried to make sure I was representing properly the wonderful work that Struggle of Love is doing. So yeah, it was good, and sometimes I have guests all the time go, "Wow, that's me." That's us.
That's what I was
You know,
thinking.
it's good. So just soak it all in and know that that is just the signpost for the wonderful work that you're doing and how it touches people's hearts.
Yeah, it's a reminder of all the work that we do because when you're in the work, you don't really know how you're making an impact or how much you're doing. And so to hear it from third party, from someone else, is like, wow, what an amazing organization.
Yeah, yeah. So hey, if you want, you can, we'll send you a clip. I'll make sure Emily gets you the intro clip. You can just put it on
Yeah,
your site. You can do a social media. Hey, y'all, this is us.
I think that is a great idea.
Okay, Em, take note. Thank you very much. Okay, let's get into this a little bit. The first thing in going through that and looking at what you guys are doing and just knowing you, and I really haven't gotten the answer as many times. And I got to let you guys know, I first got to know Lakeisha's really well during the deep dive week with an organization called How to New Collective, which trains executive directors here in the Metro Denver area, in Colorado, all over, really. And I was like, it was group settings, and it's a kind of a classroom setting in this resort area that was really nice. And they would give us information, and Lakeisha was asking questions, and she was digging in. And at the time, I don't know if you remember, I was pretty new as an executive director. I had come from the
Yep.
for-profit world and was just trying to figure it all out. And Lakeisha was asking questions I wouldn't even think they asked these questions, and just giving feedback that I learned as much from you in some respects as I did from just taking that course that deep dive week. So thank you for that. You were a firebrand. I recognized that early and often, and you really struck me as someone who would stand up and fight for the work that you are doing. And you really had this conviction.
Don't forget that I was the crybaby of the bunch too.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Stand up and fight for your convictions.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to cry about it to make something happen,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So that leads me to the first question that I really want to know. What brought you to this work, or what brought this work to you?
Yeah, I think the work was brought to me. And I think it was just like you said in the intro, lived experiences. My husband and I, we were both homeless at some point in our life, and it was a struggle, and it was hard to figure out what day to day was going to look like, where we were going to eat, where we were going to sleep. I was living in a homeless shelter with a newborn baby. He was sleeping in his car, and
Mm.
we finally tapped into some of the resources that were offered in the community to start, paving the way to get on our feet and finding stability, housing, and jobs and things like that. And so we went through that whole struggle together. And, through the struggle, once we did get on our feet, we were like, it's our responsibility to give back to the community that gave so much to us because they're the reason why we're here. And we know that there's others that are struggling the same struggle that we were experiencing. And how can we help them get to the level, to the next step that we are? And that's kind of how the struggle of love was born. It's like just, pulling somebody up with you that is experienced the same struggles as you, and how can you help them? How can you share the resources with them that you took advantage of so that they can take advantage of those too. And then helping them navigate those challenges of taking advantage of those resources. And that's really how we started the organization, was with the resource fair, because there was a lot of resources in the community that people just weren't aware of. And so our Reach for Peace picnic provided that platform for people to come out and set up their booths and give out information on the resources and services that they offered, and for the community to come and take advantage of that. And that's our signature event, which is coming up. It's our 19th year doing that event. And that was really how the Struggle of Love was born, is through our Reach for Peace picnic and sharing resources with others in the community.
Yeah, so before I go into the follow-up, tell us the date, time, and where to participate in that picnic that's coming up. And it's on the banner too for anybody who finds us online. But tell the viewers where to attend that event.
Yes, so finally, Struggle of Love has a home. And so this is going to be our first year hosting this event at our very own location on site. So it'll be at the Love Center, which is in Montbello, 12,005 East 45th Avenue. It'll be happening on June 21st. We always host the event on Father's Day because we also want to recognize outstanding fathers in the community and give them a day of recognition. We feel like they don't get the recognition they deserve. And so we'll be awarding three fathers with the Father of the Year award, fathers that give back to their community, that's taking care of their families, that's doing the best that they can do. And so June 21st, 12 o'clock, Love Center, Reach for Peace picnic, be here. Everything is free. It's a family friendly event. And so we ask, bring your kids out, enjoy the day with your family and your kids on June 21st.
That's great. Thank you so much, and thank you for that recognition to fathers. You know, urban fathers of color, mothers of color for that matter, I think are underappreciated and sometimes and often maligned in the media and with some of the narratives in our society. So I really truly appreciate that recognition for the work that father. I mean, I say, I've done some things in my life. I've been a successful business owner. I'm a private pilot. I've written some books, and people ask me, "What's your most favorite accomplishment? What are you most proud of?" I say, uh, Erica, Forrest,
Mm,
Brock, and Justin, my children,
mm,
are my most proud accomplishment, and being their dad, because the joy that I have in being that, and I've had in being that and sharing that love with them. I know right now they're all having, you know, I'm not going to say prosperous, but they're having productive, meaningful lives. And I had a little bit to do with that, right? Just,
right.
just, just the presence, right? So thank you, thank you, thank you for that.
Yeah, you deserve to be celebrated for that. And,
Yeah.
we want folks to know that there are fathers out here that are being responsible and taking care of their responsibilities.
So I'm gonna have to put that on the calendar for 27 because I'm gonna be in Michigan visiting my
Well,
family in June that week. So I'm not, yeah. So yeah, I'll mark it for next year for sure, and my heart will be with you guys.
yeah, we'll love to see you there, but we'll miss you this year, but next year for sure.
Okay, great. Tell us more just about the programming, and I talked a little bit about it in the intro. You guys do a lot of different things to positively impact the communities you serve. Tell us a little bit about the programs that you have right now.
Yeah, so we believe that, wraparound services that provide the basic needs for families to really thrive is what we have here in the Love Center. And so some of the programs that we offer or provide, we have a youth violence prevention team. Our youth violence prevention team, they are sort of like first responders to any violent activity that happens in the community. They show up. They're able to engage with the families that have been impacted and provide on the spot resources and grief support if needed for both the perpetrator and the victim's family. We have therapists that also join our youth violence prevention team to just be on the spot to provide that, like I said, immediate response to the trauma that they're experiencing at that time. And then we have our gun violence prevention team, which they go out and, educate the community on gun safety. They give out gun locks, how to properly lock and store your firearm. If you have a weapon, they show up to different gun shows. They have a table there, and anybody who purchases a firearm, they give them a free gun lock. Just trying to keep firearms safe so that they're not so accessible in the community to anyone, looking for a firearm. So the RGVP team is responsible for doing that. Of course, everybody knows us for our Sacks of Love food pantry, which has been operating for about 10 years now. Started really, really small in a little closet in a building that we had an office space at, and we were serving about 100 to 200 people a week. During COVID, that really grew into a big operation, which we started serving about 1,000 people a week immediately when COVID happened. We were essential workers to keep providing food to the community during that time. And since then, we really haven't slowed down. And so we're seeing that that is a definite need in our community, especially here over in far northeast Montbello area. And so we're continuing to serve about 200 individuals every day through our Saxala food pantry.
Mm.
It's a drive-through. Boxes are prepped and prepared early in the morning, and then we get them out to the community in the afternoon. And that's an operation that is very large operation. We are considering transitioning that into a no-cost market. And so right now we're having a build out where folks will be able to actually come into the Love Center and select the items that they want, kind of shop like a grocery store experience, um, and still get the items that they need through our Sacks of Love food pantry. We have an on-site mental health team. We have 4 therapists here at the Love Center that provide trauma sessions for people that are experiencing any trauma, mental health issues. We're having a community conversation on May 16th just to do like a meet and greet with a therapist. If you're unsure, if you're needing that support, you can come meet them and talk to them and better identify the needs that you have if you want to engage with our mental health therapists. But they're here on site every day to serve the community. We have our STAR program. We're partners with STAR, which is non-emergency response. So when folks call 911, if 911 deems it as not an emergency, then they dispatch the call to our STAR employees, and they'll respond to the call. And so that's something we've been doing for like the last 4 years with the partnership with Servicios and some other partners in the community, just responding to the non-emergency calls through 911. And then we have our out of school time programming, which we're gearing up for right now. We're going to have an 8-week summer camp for kids K through 5th grade. We usually take about 50 students to participate in that program. It's a very robust program where they get to go on a field trip pretty much every day and experience different things like rock climbing, canoeing, break dancing, fishing. They're always out in the community outdoors. They do horseback riding, a lot of
Mm.
different experience in tennis, and just like opening up, giving them the experience to see if it's something that they like to do. And some of them do continue on with some of those partners that we partner with to get engaged in tennis or rock climbing or to continue on once they've had that experience. And then we also do that throughout the year too, our out of school time program, and we have after school programs. We also have in school programs in DPS, DSST, and Aurora Public Schools. And so we have a team that goes out to the schools during the day. We have an advisory block where we're able to facilitate our Spreading Our Love Mentor and Leadership program with students that have been identified as high risk by the school leadership team to participate in our class, to get redirection, to just provide extra support for those students to be successful in their education, their academic career. And then lastly, we have our workforce development program. Right now, we have same day certification for forklift training and Flagger. We also have t-shirt printing that we do here at the Love Center. And so it gives youth an opportunity to be creative, to come up with a design, a logo, put it on a shirt, and then we set them up with booths around the city when there's like festivals or opportunities for them to actually set up a booth and sell the merchandise that they created. So that's another workforce avenue that we have that's kind of like entrepreneurship. We do partner with Comcast, the Black Employee Network, to help them with the back end of the business. So applying for the Secretary of State, doing their cash flow, all the hard paperwork stuff that it's not
Yeah.
just about creating and selling. There's business behind the scenes that has to happen too for you to be successful. And so we do a partnership with them to teach that financial part of it. And yeah, that's pretty much what we do at the Struggle of Love Foundation here at the Love Center. Some of the resources that we have for students to have a safe space to go and to engage in our music studio we have on site. We have a podcast studio, again, the t-shirt printing. We have a nail salon. We have a barbershop, a hair salon. We have a garden coming online, a community garden coming online this summer, and a sports court as well. And so there's a lot to do here at the Love Center. We feed everybody that comes here because, of course, we have the food. You don't have to worry about that. Everybody's going to eat when they're here on site. And it's just a wonderful place to be. It's always busy. It's always a different day. We love the people that come and visit us, that volunteer, that engage with the things that we are doing, and we love to support the community.
Oh my God. So, now everybody understands why Lakeisha is on the show today. As you were talking, a couple things popped up. One of them was, first of all, you say my intro was great, but you explaining your programs was, 10 times better and more in depth about the work that you're doing. And as you were talking, this concept popped into my mind. It's like this is what we need. People talk about the government, and we need government funding for sure. We need our tax dollars to support work like work you're doing. And at the same time, the government in many ways isn't equipped to create these programs and actually make them effective and impactful. The people in the communities are. And you are as you were talking, you became, and it became more and more clear to me that you are the embodiment of that. I mean, just from the urgent situations that we find ourselves in when you said how you respond to violence, right? And then the other urgent situation with people who are food insecure and being able to eat. I mean, those two things have directly to do with survival, and it's so important. And you're taking that on, and then you go to more empowering and longer term and preventative type work with giving youth the opportunity to learn business principles and doing the t-shirts. And then you talked about music and art, and you talked about podcasts and all of these other things where, with us, we do it in reaction when it reaches the carceral system or the legal system, right? And then we go into schools and do some preventative work that way. But the way you are entrenched in the community, just handling and providing those basic needs, is just commendable. And thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's like another argument on why you and leaders like yourself in the community who are doing this work need to be in control of the resources and how they are applied to uplifting our communities.
Yeah, and when you mention the government piece, is building trust. And so I don't think the government has a lot of trust in the community right now. And so
Hmm.
you have to lean on organizations such as Struggle of Love Foundation that we've been in this
Hmm.
community for over 2 decades. And we've been supporting this community ever since. And we've built that trust and the relationships with the people that we do serve, with the partners that we partner with to make some of these things happen, and not to mention the team that we have. And so the team that we have really is kudos to them because they're out there, boots on the ground, doing the hard work. We have individuals that come from the same lived experiences, different backgrounds, different things that they've struggled through, and they also have a passion to help others thrive in the community. And so I really have to like take my hat off to the team that we have here at Struggle of Love Foundation because they keep the operations going and they're really caring for the community and have the empathy and the compassion to see them, have a better life. And that's what it's all about is like, what are you doing to help somebody else? If you're not doing anything to help anybody else, then shame on you, right? If you have the capacity to, you should.
Right. So we're getting to the bottom of the hour. We're going to take a short break, but before we take a short break, you already gave them the information about your upcoming event. Why don't you remind them how to connect with you and attend that event, and give them your contact information if they want to contact, reach out, and volunteer or support or donate or support you in another way.
So I would say the first point of contact would probably be our website, which is struggleoflovefoundation.org. We try to keep that updated so the community knows everything that's happening at Struggle of Love Foundation, how you can get involved. And so if you navigate through the different tabs on our website, you'll learn more about what's happening here, how you can get involved, volunteer opportunities, and we always welcome you to the Love Center. And the Love Center again is in Montbello, 12,005 East 45th Avenue. We're right off of 45th and Paris. And so that's another point of contact. The doors are always open. You're always welcome to come here. Monday through Friday, we're here. And then we have an email address that you can email to comms@struggleoflovefoundation.org, or you can call our main line, which is 720 923 6122, and someone will be able to help you there. There's a lot of points of access for Struggle of Love Foundation, but our website will probably give you the most information on how to reach us and contact us and get involved or receive support and services that you need.
Perfect. Thank you so much. You are watching the Spiritual Justice Show with Eric S. Lee. You can find us at the Spiritual Justice Show on Facebook. If you want to know more about Full Circle Restorative Justice, you can reach me at eric.lee@fullcirclerj.org, or you can reach us also at our website at fullcirclerj.org. We're going to take a short break and be back on the other side.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Pat. I'm the host of the Dr. Pat Show, and I am the creator of the Transformation Network, doing what we do in the world of positive radio, informed, educated, positive media. Independent radio hosts and independent networks have been the face of positive messaging over the past decade. So all of us here have decided we're going to put together an independent network that is going to enable people to bring their positive message of hope, inspiration, and conscious action to the forefront. Help us create a future of amazing, uplifting stories that can be told so we can tell our children and they can tell their children of what hope and conscious action is all about.
I want to thank you all for tuning us in, turning us on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Looking for more love, joy, and purpose in your life? Lisa Eve is here to guide you. Through intuitive support, healing, and soulful travel, she empowers you to embrace self-love as the key to happiness. Explore her book, The Love Channel, Finding Your Way to Happiness, available on Amazon. And find daily inspiration at thehappychannel.com. Start living your most radiant, joy-filled life today.
Tune in to the Flourish Frequency Show with me, Beth Larson, every third Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time on Transformation Talk Radio. Get ready to activate and amplify the frequencies of success, happiness, and abundance so you can live a life of more joy, more energy, more passion, more money, and more meaning. For more information, visit BethLarsonCoaching.com.
Do you want to?
Are you ready to heal your mind?
Welcome back to the Spiritual Justice Show with me, your host, Eric S. Lee, where inner peace meets community impact. Today, we're talking to Lakeisha Hodge, Executive Director and co-founder of the Struggle of Love Foundation in Denver, Colorado. Lakeisha, we have had a great conversation so far. You folks do a whole lot of work that touches a lot of hearts, a lot of souls, and a lot of bodies in Denver. With all that, and it may be hard for you to identify, but what is your favorite aspect of what you're doing, or what are you most proud of that you do at the Struggle of Love Foundation?
There's a lot. That's a great question because I'm really proud of all the work that we're doing in the community. But what I'm most proud of probably is just the perseverance of Struggle of Love Foundation and our ability to finally realize our vision by opening up the Love Center. And so early on, when the organization was founded, that was always the vision, is that we wanted to have a safe space for youth to go that was open 24 hours, 7 days a week. We're not to the 24-hour, 7 days a week mark yet, but we do have the center, and we're working on, adjusting some schedules with our team so that we can be open and operating all times of the day, 24 hours, 7 days a week, for youth to have a safe place to go no matter what's going on in their life. They know they can come here and they can get the support and services that they need. And so I would have to say I'm most proud of finally realizing that vision after 25 years of hard work. We actually opened the Love Center, our 25th year anniversary. And so it was really something that a huge accomplishment for the organization that is something that's really hard to do. It was not an easy lift. It was a very heavy lift to get the center open and operating, to purchase the facility. But we're very thankful for all of the partners that donated to help us purchase this building, and just to see our dreams realized and see what we have, what we can do in this facility. And it's been a place, a hub for the community since we've opened the doors. And I'm really proud that we finally have a place that we can call home that's filled with love.
That is great. Congratulations. And you all, as your community does, deserve it. So right on, and amen on that. And talk to me about impacts. Where do you see the deepest impacts? I know as a fellow executive director, when I go and give narratives about funding and what we're doing, and I do a great job explaining a narrative around why our work is important, and a vision that is compelling about how we can help uplift youth and prevent them from entering into the carceral system, which, one, is good for them, and two, is good for the community, because it creates safer communities, and it creates communities that are thriving more, because, what we're trying to do is make sure we are empowering youth to find out what their unique and individual talents and skills and abilities are before they experience the trauma that sent them on a different path, and get them in touch with that beautiful part of it. And that's why I aligned with you when you said you had all of these things, like you had the barbershop, a nail salon, and then the T-shirts, and a art studio and music, and all of these things where young people can find themselves. They can find what is in their heart to contribute, right? And giving them an active way to do that, where our job is just to point them in the direction of those things where you actually have those things for them to do. Mm-hmm. So thank you. And that's a great sense of alignment I think we have between our organizations and how we function. Um, and when we talk about that, there's like, okay, what are the numbers? How do you back up what you're doing? Talk to us a little bit about the impacts that struggle of love generates, weekly, quarterly, monthly, however you best can translate it.
Yeah, we're tracking data monthly. And that's what we're most proud of too, is giving youth the agency to kind of lead the way. And so we just closed out Youth Violence Prevention Week last week, and it was led completely by our Youth Violence Prevention team. And they did an amazing job creating a daily activity for youth to get involved in, and then ending the week with a field day, which was the best day ever from what I hear, where they could, have a friendly competition, do some things in field day and try to win some prizes. And so we let them lead the way. But at Struggle of Love, I would encourage everybody to read our annual report. We do have an annual report that comes out every year. So our 2025 annual report is out, and you will see the impact and the numbers in our annual report. But I'll go through some of them. I talked a little bit about our Spreading Our Love mentor and leadership program that we have in school and after school. Last year in 2025, we served about 640 students. The overall success rate was 89% of the students that we were engaged with had success in our program. And
Mm,
so that's something that to highlight because it shows the impact that we're having, meeting the students where they are, directly engaging with them, and giving them tools to navigate life challenges. And that's what that team is all about, is like giving them the tools to get through some of the struggles that they're having at home, at school, in the community. And what do you do when you're faced with some of those challenges, and how do you get through it? And that's what they do. So 640 students were served there, 89% impact. Our mental health team, they were able to serve 177 clients last year. And so that's a big number because they're a small but mighty team, but they're
mm,
deeply engaged in our youth and the families, and how they bridge the gap between the mental health and just daily, life that happens, that's a part of the same. What tools do you need to get through some of the challenges that you're facing? And that's what our mental health team does too: the trauma informed therapy, the crisis therapy, family therapy, group therapy. All that is encompassed of the mental health team. So they're doing
mm,
a great job making sure that they're staying engaged with the community and providing those resources and services. Our violence interruption team, they probably showed up to 128 um, violent activities that happen in the
mm,
community. And out of those, they were able to provide services to about 118 that were like internal referrals to SOLF programs, and receiving support and services to navigate the challenges and the trauma that they face too. Our staff also does like ride-alongs with the Aurora Police Department, and so through their ride-alongs, they were able to engage with 27 different individuals to provide them an out for what they were involved in. How do they find a better way to live life with the resources and services that we have here at Struggle of Love Foundation? And so they actually go directly to these individuals' homes and knock on their doors and give them some information about how they can get involved with Struggle of Love Foundation. Um,
mhm,
and then, of course, our Sacks of Love Food Pantry, we probably served more than 89,000 individuals last year. We distributed over 1 million pounds of food. And that's like 5,000 unique households that were served last year in 2025. And so, again, I would just encourage everybody to read our annual report, because it has all the impact, the data, the numbers, what we're doing over at Struggle of Love Foundation, and again, how you can get involved with some of the things that we're doing here.
Thank you for that. Listen, you know, I'm going to change gears here a little bit. Thank you for that. I mean, it's just like it's overwhelming. And again, gratitude to you and your team and the work that you're doing, and everybody who supports you, your donor, people who your donors, your funders, everybody who recognizes the importance of that work that you're doing, and then just your brilliance in recognizing what the need is, and not it's not it's specific, but it's wide ranging and specific, right? It's like violence prevention, providing food, providing mentorship, providing opportunities for kids to explore what their unique talents and abilities are, bringing the community together. And so when I say I want to change gears, it's like I want to talk a little bit, philosophically about, why the Spiritual Justice Show was born and how it relates to the work that you're doing. And so one of the reasons we wanted to do this show is, personally, I'm in the nonprofit world, and I'm doing work in trying to transform systems that are designed to uplift youth and build deeper levels of connection and safety and inclusion and all of those things, and a safety net that helps to identify those youth and students who are most in need or are at most at risk of stepping outside of norms and finding themselves in the justice system, and helping them identify what their unique and individual offerings are and talents and skills, so that they begin developing that instead of taking that wayward path. And so that's the work that I was doing. And like you, I'm going to make an assumption here. You may be doing okay, but you aren't doing this work for the money. I introduce my staff to people, and yes, there's the reality of we got a mortgage and we got bills to pay and we got all these things. So we need to make enough money to do that. But we do this work because there is a passion to do this work and uplift and touch the people that we serve. And that is coming through with you gloriously clear. You may be doing okay financially, but that is not what the driver is. The driver is, I'm here to make my community better, and that you are doing. And so that brings us to, some of the listeners and viewers that we want to reach. And there's like, in my past life, I've been a personal coach, right? And I'm also a very spiritual human, and my coaching was focused on that, helping people develop their spirituality, and using their spiritual connection to overcome obstacles and things that were in their way from them being all that they can be. And with that, there's so many people that I've experienced throughout my lifetime that were looking for one more meditation retreat. They were looking for one more conference to go to, one more practice to do, one more thing that's going to get them to that enlightened feeling inside of being there, to being connected with spirit and being fulfilled. And what I realized, and I realized it through my work, and you may have already been here, maybe not, but what I found is the last piece was reaching out and either mentoring or supporting a young person,
Mm-hmm.
and sharing my path with them. And so that is why we're here, to make sure that we highlight and feature organizations that in some way like yours are doing that naturally. And so if you had a message for people who were wondering how they can be of service, they were wondering, what's my next step? How can I feel more fulfilled? How can I feel more connected to my community? How can I find the larger part of myself that is driven by the heart, like you every day showing up to Struggle of Love? What message would you have to those seekers out there who are watching you talk about your organization today?
Well, first, I want to go back and say, yes, it's not about the money, because when Struggle of Love was founded, my husband and I worked jobs. We worked full-time jobs. I worked at yes for 15 years. He worked at King Supers for 15 years. And Struggle of Love we had to do on the side in our personal time. We're not getting paid. Struggle of Love didn't start seeing financial support until maybe 15, 16 years down the line. And so it's definitely a passion that we have. We never were in it for money. We really wanted to just provide support to our community. And so, my message for those that are watching is if you're looking for a place where your time, talent, or resources can truly make a difference, the Struggle of Love Foundation is that place. We're deeply committed to supporting youth, strengthening families, and creating safer, more empowered communities. And there's a role for everyone in that work, right? Whether you're a volunteer, a partner, you want to donate, or just spread the word. We have also a Facebook page, Instagram, LinkedIn, and we post all of our stuff on there. And so if you want to get engaged and just share the information that we're putting out in the community so others can learn and take advantage of that, I think, there's a place for you to get involved in different capacities that's life changing for individuals in the community, and showing up for young people that need us. Like you said, they need us. You have to dig back into, well, for me, your young person. Like, what is it that you needed when you were a child that you were missing? And kind of relating that to, it's a new generation now. They have different challenges and struggles than we had, but at the same time, everybody needs somebody. And even if it's just a person to talk to, you could probably really make a difference in a person's life by just being that safe space for them to vent. And really, that's what we are at. That's how the relationships really start with our clients, is they come here to vent, and then they realize, oh, they have everything that I need. We hear that all the time. Like, some people just come here because they got to do community service as court ordered. Well, through that community service, they learn we have mental health support, we have food, we have all of these things until they become part of the family. And so I think just showing up and being present, meeting the youth where they are, and having an open ear to listen, is very important for us as adults.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. So let's go to the other side. I mean, I know that, you know, again, as a nonprofit leader, there's challenges.
Mhm.
And these days the challenges are different. It's, well, you know, they always, it's always something, they say, right? But the climate that we're in now, especially nationally, with discourse and policy decisions and all that, present different types of challenges. What type of challenges are you guys experiencing right now?
Right now we are really shifting, expanding and growing. So we have a lot of growing pains. Sometimes I go back to, like, be careful what you ask for. You asked for this, you got it, and now what you gonna do? Right. And so right now, I think our biggest challenge is continuing to operate in this facility and looking for those dollars that are operational. It's hard to find operational funding. And so, not only that, but just wearing the different hats, the responsibilities that come with owning a facility. Right away, when we moved in, we realized we had to have 9 trees moved off the property, which was a $40,000 expense. Where are we going to get that money from? These trees have to go. And so we got to figure that out, right? And so
Hmm.
I think that's our biggest challenge. We operate strictly off of, grant funding, support from individuals in the community, donations, in kind, monetary, and just, making sure that our financial future is secure so that we can keep the team that we have. We employ 25 people here at the Love Center, and their livelihoods are in our hands. And so for me, that's what I'm thinking about daily is, how do I find funding to keep them operating, not only their livelihoods, but the life-changing services and resources that they're providing to the community. We cannot see that dissipate or disappear. And without funding, I'm afraid nobody's going to work for free. And,
Right.
like you said, they have their bills and things that they need to pay, and we do recognize that. We try to be competitive in our hiring process, financially, with what we offer for compensation. but that's always a challenge. And then you know how they do with the grant funding. It's 2 years, 3 years. And so when that time is getting closer, you get nervous. I'm at that point right now where a lot of our
Mhm.
funding is ending in June. And so I'm looking for different funds to keep the team operating. And that's my biggest fear, especially with the administration, with the federal government, and uh, Colorado being a sanctuary, or Denver being a sanctuary city, and they're really
Mhm.
coming down hard on us. That's, another challenge is that's out of our control. There's nothing we can do about that. The mayor wants this to be
Right.
a sanctuary city, and unfortunately, is frowned upon from, the federal government. And so they're trying to do everything to punish everyone for that. And I don't think that's fair, either. So just navigating, staying strong. My husband and I, we just left DC to try to advocate for more funds for our program, talking to Diana DeGette and Hickenlooper and Bennett. And, we do that once a year to just, keep the momentum going. Like, we're doing this work, we're making an impact. We need your support. And you guys have the dollars to support us. And so please, consider funding Struggle of Love Foundation. And that's really my main responsibility in the organization now. I used to be the boots on the ground person, and I used to be involved with everything that we do. There's nothing in this organization that I have not done. I've done it all
Mm.
except for the mental health services because I don't have the expertise to be a therapist.
Right, right.
That's the only thing that I haven't done in this organization, but everything that's done here, I've been a part of. And unfortunately, now I got to stay behind my desk on the computer to keep us. So my role has shifted a little bit, which is a challenge for me too, because I have to live vicariously through my team, um,
Right.
and the things that they're out there doing in the community, and seeing their impact and the progress and the students. And that's one thing that I'm big on, because I'm not out there boots on the ground. Like, please tell me the stories. Please show me the pictures. Please, get some testimonials so that I still feel connected to the impact and the work that's happening, boots on the ground with the team.
Right. Okay. Oh my God. We're, I'm looking at the message. It's saying we got 5 minutes left. The time has flown by. I could be here for another hour talking about what you guys are doing. I'm going to give you an opportunity. If you have one last thing that you'd like our viewers to know, a parting shot, so to speak, what would you tell them about the work that you are doing at Struggle of Love Foundation?
I would just say, at Struggle of Love Foundation, we are very dedicated to uplifting youth, by creating safe spaces, supportive spaces, where they can grow, heal, and thrive. Our focus on violence prevention, mentorship, and providing meaningful opportunities for youth, really is just, it's a safe space, and we like to call it like a hangout. And not that it's they're not learning anything or engaging in anything, because when you put that word on it, like a hangout, but for them it's attractive, right? And so we're trying to come up with, words that make it attractive to the youth for them to want to come to the Love Center, and then realize all the other opportunities that are available to them here. And so I would just say, please send your youth here. And it doesn't have to be just a youth. We support families, grandparents, 8 to 80. We like to say 8 to 80, blind, cripple, or crazy.
Nice.
You can come here, and we're here for you. We're going to love on you. We're going to teach you how to love yourself. We're going to affirm your greatness. And you're going to walk away feeling like a new person. We have tons of testimonials for people that have come to this, and it's nice to see the transformation in the individuals that we work with, because sometimes you feel like you're not going to get a transformation, and then when you do, it's like, wow, you really had. I mean, there was a lady here just last night that's she's going to have her wedding here tomorrow.
Oh boy.
Contingent upon the weather, because we're supposed to be
Hmm.
expecting a big storm. And she
Yeah.
asked co-founder, my husband, to walk her down the aisle, because she feels so deeply touched about the resources and services that she got here, and how it really changed her life, being a part of the Struggle of Love Foundation, that she wants to give him that honor to walk her down the aisle to get married. So he's going to be in a wedding tomorrow.
Oh my God.
Things like
That
that.
is beautiful.
That is beautiful, for her to even ask for him to do that. And so things like that, it's just like, you're making an impact. There are some people that are ungrateful, that don't appreciate the support. And we have that too. So it goes both ways. But we're never going to give up. We're always going to be here, and we're always going to be supporting this community the best way that we can with the resources that we have.
Thank you, Lakeisha, so much. Thank you for joining us today. You have been watching Lakeisha Hodge, Executive Director and co-founder of the Struggle of Love Foundation in Denver. The work that you do, the organization you've created, it is just foundational in the community. The variety and scope of work that you do and services and programs that you provide, it just creates a cornerstone of support in the community. And I personally appreciate the work that you're doing and the organization that you've created. It's hard work. I understand that again, it's coming from your heart, and that heart is connected to your brilliance and vision of seeing what was needed, and just the fortitude to take the steps to keep going over 25 years, I believe you said, to make this ultimate vision a reality. So I applaud you. I thank you. Gratitude to you. For all you viewers out there, if you want to get a hold of Lakeisha, go to her website at the Struggle of Love Foundation. And the last thing is, if you're out there and you're wondering what your next step is in your own evolution, it is stepping out and helping a young person or an organization like the Struggle of Love Foundation that Lakeisha has founded to uplift our communities. That's all we have for you today. Don't sit on your couch now. Get up, get active, and start supporting everybody out there doing the great work. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time at the Spiritual Justice Show with me, your host, Eric S. Lee. Thank you for joining me, Eric S. Lee, on the Spiritual Justice Show. You've heard me say it before. Restorative justice alone can't get us there. Repairing a wound matters, but if the system keeps cutting, the wounds return. Social justice fights for equity, but if we forget the human spirit, policy feels hollow. Transformative justice shifts culture, but without compassion, the changes just don't last. That's why spiritual justice completes the circle. It heals the heart while changing the system. It restores dignity while shifting culture. It brings spirit back into justice. And that's where you come in. Tune in each first and third Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time on the Transformation Network as we rise up, spiritual justice warriors. This means you choosing courage, compassion, and creativity in a call to action. Until next time, walk with courage, lead with compassion, live with spirit, because justice becomes here in the soul, and it continues with warriors like us. Join our community at spiritualjustice.net.